My daddy's scared.
They don't know that I'm already recording.
But I press record.
Yeah.
Not this time. Well, we got everybody here today. Say what's up, y'all. We got the bouncers, the whole crew.
Don't worry, nobody's gonna see this.
Yeah, we have the whole.
There's Cooper right there. He's got more.
Cooper Savage right
Cooper
there.
Savage.
Capital C, capital S.
Capital C and S. All right, Jennifer, you gonna put the thing over there, please? Thank you so much. Everybody got a nice view of the inside of her hand there. I'm so glad that all this stuff is not part of the actual podcast. Gotta get my quarters out. That's what I owe so far, right? 75 cents. Yeah, right here. Anybody off camera want to say anything before we get recording?
Away, just go away.
I'm surprised he didn't yell
And I
bikes.
have one more thing I want to
Tim?
say. Do you know that way?
Surprised you didn't yell what?
That's old, man.
Bikes.
That's old. That's from months ago.
Bikes.
Bikes.
Hey, Oscar. He's like, let me out of here.
It's the calm before the storm, before the calm before the next storm.
You have to face it so we can get the guest in here. She's
Oh,
on.
Lord.
She's on the
You can see her.
stop.
You can see
She's on
her.
the stop button.
Just
Fingers.
like, tilt your head in just a little bit, so.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We're getting a little bit too close. Please never do that again.
I won't. Don't
What
worry.
did you do?
He got way too close.
All right. Let me find the ducks.
Oh, there's a cat under my legs. All right. Everybody get
First
your.
time you'll ever have. Never mind.
I knew what you were going for. Look, we're not recording yet, so for the video version, you can make that joke. All right, my YouTube's used to it. You want to go ahead?
No, I'm good.
No? Okay, all right. Well, everybody get your sneezes and coughs out now.
Oh God. Please don't be loud.
You gonna hold the cat the whole time?
He is.
You gonna pet it like it's the opening scene of The Godfather?
I don't know how that works.
Like it's the bald-headed cat, Dr. Evil.
That I cannot do. You know.
You're done. I gotta go. That's all.
All right. So I got a good little rant for the beginning of this podcast, and
Oh, God.
I haven't.
find the damn.
I haven't let y'all. I didn't let y'all know about it on purpose because I wanted natural reactions. So put the thing in the center so we hear everybody
I'm going
equally.
to.
It's half the time you can barely hear Jennifer, and then I'm too loud, and I'm already loud anyway.
No.
All right, y'all ready?
All right, yeah, go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 4. Can't believe we're already doing episode 4 of the Dirty Balls podcast. As Jennifer gets the cord out of the way of the video version, and I've got 75 cents. You heard it right there, to put in the Tim Tebow bucket.
That's another quarter next week.
No, it's not. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. That didn't count. Saying it in reference to the bucket, it doesn't count if I say it. So, I've got an idea for a new segment. Now, I ran by y'all just a few minutes ago. And, oh, by the way, we got a studio audience back here today. We got 4 people back here. So that's half of our viewership and listenership already. So they're not even going to have to listen. They've already got the live version right here. Most podcasts don't do a live show until like episode 30, and we're already doing one in episode 4. So that's how popular we are. So before I get to my opening rant, would any of y'all... Well, first of all, I'm going to ask Fallon and Jennifer have anything to say, and then we're going to introduce our guests.
What's up, peoples?
That's it?
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I'll let
they can
Jennifer
do all
go,
the
then
time.
I'm gonna finish.
I don't have anything exciting.
You got a list of stuff.
That's
right
for
now,
the
man.
end. What? Are we gonna go over this every week?
Okay.
All right. Well,
Tim, you want to get in here on something? He's not a guest. He's just in the house.
I'm the enforcer.
the enforcer is
All right.
here with the paddle.
So now we're gonna let our guest introduce herself. So go ahead and say what's up and tell them what you're all about.
My name is Candy Mashburn. I am the director of the host family program for the Hickory Crawdads, and I'm just glad to be here. You guys can ask me whatever questions you want.
She made them, and by them they mean me, promise to keep it clean this episode.
Absolutely.
So yes.
And the reason we teased out something sweet like Jennifer is because her name is Candy.
Absolutely.
I thought of something like that, but I thought that's too heavy-handed. That would sound dumb. But
You're not the first person to say it in my life.
because we got a woman named Candy at work. I say girl, but she's like 40. So that's a woman. But anyway, I'm not going to get into the semantics of that. But she's called Candy, and we make jokes like that all the time, and they're really, really stupid, and I wish we would stop. But anyway, that's not the opening rant. Okay, so this is... I've never seen this in Major League Baseball. I've never seen this in Minor League Baseball, but I've seen this way too much in college baseball and softball, high school baseball and softball, and Optimus baseball and softball. So whenever people get to choose their numbers on the back of their jerseys, I always went with 3 because one, that my dad always went with 3 when he played baseball, and 2, 3 for Dale. So, and then 8 if they didn't have 3 because Dale Jr. And then 88 after a while, but whatever.
2 minutes into the, almost 3 minutes into
Already
the podcast,
NASCAR.
NASCAR.
That's okay.
Whatever, okay? That's not what I'm ranting about here.
Yeah.
Why? In basketball too, because I played that and I was terrible at it too. But why would anybody that gets to choose their own number go with the number 0 or the number, even stupider, 00 or 00? Whenever
That's what double is, 00.
Yeah, whenever I was an announcer for the little PA announcer at the Optimus Park for a couple of years before I had a real job, I every time a 00 came up, I hated it because 00 does not roll off the tongue very well, and 00 does not roll off the tongue very well. So I just not say their number. I'd be like, here, number 3, Johnny, number 5, Sam, never mind. Like I hated saying it, so I just wouldn't. And my question for y'all, because I've never figured this out, why would anybody choose that number?
So he can go from 0 to hero. Oh, well, you done something good.
I don't buy that. Alan, any thoughts?
Maybe he was absent the day when they picked numbers, and it's like, well, they're 0.
It's your own fault for being out.
Well, my friend, I had a friend back in the day that always chose 00, and I asked him why he chose it, and he said, I don't know, I just like the number. That's not a good answer. That's a stupid number. 0 and 00 are and I don't get it. Somebody's got to explain this to me, please.
Well, why does somebody pick 99?
I don't know.
Judge.
Oh, yeah, you hear that, Judge? Yeah.
We don't like your number.
We don't like your number, but it's not as bad as 00. And my other question is, has any Major League player ever had 00? I can't think of one.
I don't know.
What?
We got somebody looking it up over here. Somebody's looking it up. Tell me, actually, we'll make it a trivia. If you can find it, we'll make it a trivia question. So, Alan, I believe that last week we discussed power rankings, or 2 weeks ago, actually, we discussed power rankings for position players.
Well, that was last week.
That was last week.
That was last week?
Yeah,
That was when Chris was here?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, that was last week. I don't remember things. So I think this week we have the same list, but for pitchers.
Exactly.
Was it by the same people?
I think so. It was on MILB.
So let's roll on into that.
Okay. All right. Number 10. Who we talked about last week, hanging up on the wall back here, the Houston Astros.
Yeah. Whatever.
Number 9, the Los Angeles Angels.
The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
Yeah, gosh, I hate that.
California of America, of the Western Hemisphere of the world, of the Milky
Number
Way
8,
galaxy.
we have the Dodgers.
Boo.
Number 7, Kansas City. I'm sorry, St. Louis Cardinals.
You know what I thought of the other night?
There's no telling what you
Okay,
thought of.
so in LA, it's not really anymore, but back in the day, LA had a huge gang violence problem, and the 2 main gangs were the Crips and the Bloods, and their colors were red and blue, and the Angels and Dodgers are red and blue. So do you think that there's gang-related issues with that? Do you think that Angels fans and Dodgers fans who might actually be in the same gang end up killing each other over that? Because it might happen.
That might be another trivia question. Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
All right, number 6, Tampa Bay Rays.
The Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Number 5, the Philadelphia Phillies.
No, I hate everything about the Philadelphia Phillies.
And number 4, those damn Yankees.
Especially that stupid World Series with the rain delay. That was the worst one.
And number 3, we have the Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, shout out to Charlotte again.
And Kannapolis, unfortunately. And number 2, the Padres.
Wait, don't. I can see that. I'm going to close my eyes here. I'm going to guess number 1.
Go ahead, take a guess.
Let's see here. Number 1 could be, I want to say the Braves, but I'm probably not right. Number 1 is
Not the Rangers.
Colorado.
No,
Should have went with the Braves.
should have went with the Braves.
I was right. It's the
The
Braves.
number 1 pitching rankings in all of the baseball is the Atlanta Braves.
We're bringing it back. All right. Remember the '90s? Glavine, Maddox, Smoltz. It's coming back. We're gonna have a power crew again.
I mean, I think they might. I mean, with Allard and Max Pride, Freed, however you want to say it, and Mike Soroka.
And once Fultonevich gets his crap together and stops getting mad and throwing 170-mile-an-hour changeups that land in the upper deck, then he'll be a great pitcher too.
So, well, there was my little piece.
Did anybody prepare questions for our guest? Because I didn't even know who our guest was until yesterday.
How did you become? Why did you take the role over as a connection?
Yeah, who did you take it over from?
Carrie Kennedy started the program.
Well, how about we ask this first? What is the connection for the people who don't know?
Exactly.
There you go.
The Crawdads Connection is a group of families who are big fans of the Hickory Crawdads. We basically provide support for the players, anything they might need while in Hickory. Most people don't realize that in the Texas Rangers farm system there are 6 steps basically. They go to Spokane, Washington first. Let me say that not every player takes every step, but often they do. They go to Spokane, Washington first, and for the most part they live with host families there. And then they come to Hickory next. Hickory is their low A, and they don't live with host families here. They are responsible for finding their own apartment, paying their own bills, this kind of thing, but they still have host families who are there for them for whatever their need. Basically, their families, when their families can't be there, I guess you'd say. And then after they leave Hickory, they move on up to down east, which is in eastern North Carolina, which is high A.
Kinston, right?
Kinston, North Carolina. They then moved to AA, which is in Frisco, Texas. AAA is Round Rock, Texas, and then on to the Rangers. So we're the second step of 6. And like I said, we're just basically support for the players when they're here. The program was started by Carrie Kennedy. She had been part of a similar program in West Virginia with the West Virginia Power when they lived there, and when she moved to Hickory, she saw the need here and just decided that she wanted to start the same kind of thing here, talk to our GM about it, and he was all for it, and so here we are. So we were the first family to sign on.
That playing on his tablet over here.
I'm looking for my next word.
We were the first family to sign on as a host family, so that's why we've been with it since the very beginning. Really, Alan?
I'm sorry.
Really?
Well, we got a break in the act here. You gotta
I'll use my tablet.
you gotta answer for our 00. Wait, don't give me a hint.
The most recent one played for the Dodgers. He played for the Giants before. He was known for his beard.
All right, can you give me a position?
Closer.
Oh, he was a pitcher. I remember him in the World Series. Oh my goodness, I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember his name. Because he had that awesome beard. It's gonna kill me. Just go ahead.
All right, here we go talking about beards again.
Brian Wilson. Clear the beard.
Brian Wilson. Not the one from the Beach Boys. All right. So, Candy, want to keep going with what you were? Because the next question after what is it is how did you get into it?
The Crawdads at that time posted on their social media that they were looking for host families, and so we decided that we would contact them about it. We were at games all the time, and so we contacted Carrie, and we actually ended up being the first family, even though it had been a day or two since they posted it. We ended up being the first family to sign on,
and I believe that Alan and Jennifer and y'all here had Joey Gallo, or
No, Joey Gallo was here when I first started going to the game.
Because you seem to talk all the time as if he was.
That would have been awesome.
This is the 5th.
You treat Joey Gallo like a son. Every time he has a home run or anything, you're on Facebook like, that's my boy. Like,
Well, it's my favorite player. You know.
just because of all that, it would seem like you had him here. Who have you had?
Who have we had? We have had, this is our second year doing it. We've had Johan Juan was our first.
That's a cool name.
Our
It's a rapper
second
name.
was Yanio Perez, and then he got moved up to Kinston. And so now we have Tanner Gardner, and we had Nick Donaco.
I hope that Yanio and Jocelyn have been listening to the podcast.
They have.
Shout out to y'all. It's
We miss those guys
great.
very much. And it's like I said, it's so awesome. I mean, I haven't talked to Johan in a while.
This is how Yanio is learning English, is by listening to our podcast.
And I asked Johan the other day how it was like maybe 2 months ago, and he hasn't seen, because I got it on Messenger. He hasn't seen the message or nothing, and all of a sudden it's just my phone lit up, and I thought it was Jennifer because we were talking back and forth. And then he said he was doing good, and he asked us how our family was. So it's awesome. I love it when my phone rings and it's one of these guys. You know, like I said, they are my family. We do any and everything for them.
We have been hosting programs 5 years old, so we've been hosting for 5 years. We've hosted about 9 different guys in 5 years. We normally have about 2 players every year. We started out with 2 players because we only had like 10 or 12 families to begin with, so everybody had to take 2 or 3 players on. But they really are your family. They're like your little tribe. Each one of us has our own little tribe that we follow around. And I even have a couple who are not, playing for the Rangers anymore, or even we have a couple who are not even playing baseball anymore, but we still try to keep up with those guys as much as we can. I mean,
we had John Warner too.
I'm so glad that you said tribe, because that brings me to something I wanted to talk about. What do we think about the controversy, and I don't even want to call it a controversy because it's so stupid, around the Indians logo, and they're apparently taking it off of the hat, and there might be taking it off of the jersey, Chief Wahoo. I don't care. I don't think any actual Native Americans are offended by it, but I mean, that's my super narrow white opinion. So anybody have any thoughts on that? I saw a shirt the other day that said like keep Chief Wahoo or save Chief Wahoo or something like that. I'm not even an Indians fan, but I'd definitely rock that shirt if it wasn't $28. And you guys know how I feel about shirts, and I'd actually
I don't know if we know how you feel, Ethan. Tell us how you really feel
about what?
Your shirts.
About shirts? Listen,
I'm just joking.
gonna
I'm just joking.
listen to past podcasts, okay? I hate the shirts. I sent y'all one the other day. It says like, I was born in June, so I must be a badass. That was the gist of the shirt. It had it had a paragraph on it and some very weird graphics, but whatever. I'm sorry. I just, you want to like DM me on any of my Instagrams or Twitters or Facebooks if you want to know more about my opinions on shirts. And that is at Ethan Binfield 3 and at Ethan_Binfield. You can figure out which one is which. Alan, I believe you had something else to talk about. Who cares about a transition? Just go right into it.
No, I thought we were going to...
We were going to talk about the Indians.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about the Indians.
Well, I thought we were done.
No,
Nobody even said anything. You wouldn't let anybody.
No, I thought nobody had an opinion.
I could care less.
I don't.
I mean, I like it because, for one, you got the movie.
Right.
You got Major League. I mean, come on now.
Major League.
You're taking that away, and then if you talk
What was the
about that-
name of the like weird little voodoo doll thing that guy had?
Jabu.
Yeah, there we go.
But that's totally
I was just,
What is that from?
Major League.
some
Another-
people might
Another movie that
If
you
you
haven't
listen,
seen.
well,
some
remember,
people
we
might
talked about
find that
last
just
week.
as offensive as Chief Wahoo, but I don't find either.
But you know, with
I've
that,
seen
that
that
other
one thing on
sport,
shirts. I
that
wonder
other
what
sport
it
that we
was.
just totally dislike because you know they want to cry about any and everything. You know, the Redskins, they still have their Indian on the side of their helmet.
But everybody on TV just refers to them as Washington now. They won't even say the word Redskins. Whatever. They don't matter anyway. When's the last time they've had a good year?
Who cares about football?
Yeah. This is not a football podcast.
So
It's
it's
not a
baseball
NASCAR
season, man.
podcast.
It's not a soccer podcast either. I was talking about that last time.
Or McDonald's podcast.
Whatever.
Or a t-shirt podcast.
Or a t-shirt podcast. Thanks, Tim. That's,
Or NASCAR.
we've already went over that.
But yeah, earlier this week I came across something on Facebook that someone shared talking about Kinston. Their team van got stolen, and I'm gonna go ahead and read you the article because
Such a nice place to live.
This is a funny article. It said the team van of the Down East Wood Ducks is safe after it was stolen Thursday morning.
Oh, you got tested for an STD or something?
No,
Safe,
safe.
you know.
Yeah, you slide, you know.
Oh, that reminds me.
Oh God.
I did some very 1080 stuff at the Lenore Ryan baseball game yesterday, and I got the other team involved. This kid completely whiffed on a changeup, and I shouted "nice cool breeze," and then the very next pitch he hit like a triple, and the guy next to me was like, "That's a nice cool breeze too, ain't it?" But then we ended up winning, so it was okay.
Can he get back to the article now?
Yes, he can.
The van, which has all the stickers on it saying that the picture of the mascot all over it was taken from Granger Stadium. Police say around 7:30 in the morning, 3 people broke into the general manager's office and took keys to the van, a laptop, and a camera. The van was recovered around 12:30 that afternoon, and the police have not caught the person yet. Yeah, that's about it. So yes, the van was stolen. And why would you steal a van that has a huge sticker of Dude, which is the name of the mascot?
That's not conspicuous
it's big
at all.
green duck. Yeah, not conspicuous at all.
Oh, what van should we look for? The only one in the state with a big green duck on the side.
And it says Woody's on his jersey.
Woody's.
Well, we noticed when we were there, like even the fire trucks have the wood duck on them. I'm like, Hickory needs to get behind this too.
That would be awesome.
The big water tower out there, it's got the wood duck on it. And
Hickory does not do crap for the crawdads.
Hickory needs to get with it. They have big support in Kinston.
I mean, they have
Amongst the community.
Conrad show up at random events, but that's about it.
But speaking of events,
Ooh.
oh yeah, good segue on that one, Ethan.
You actually did it that
The
time.
the Crawdads Spring Fling is this Saturday.
Are we going to record the next episode there?
We might. We General Manager Mark said that we could actually record in the cafe, so we might give that a shot. So next Saturday we might post the actual podcast Sunday since it's the next day.
Or Monday, because that's when we post.
Yeah, well we could do it Monday. We can do a surprise. We don't know. We'll let you know.
It's not a surprise if they've already heard about it.
We don't know if they're going to do it Sunday or Monday. We're going to record Saturday.
All right, I can actually watch the race live next
Oh
week.
yeah, there's another race in there.
So the spring fling.
Are you going to
anything
tell
else?
the time?
You gonna give any information
Some
about
details?
this, or are you just gonna tell them to show up and not give them anything?
It's at the stadium from 11.
What
to
stadium,
1.
Alan?
LP Friends Stadium.
Are you sure it's not at Minute Maid Field or Park or
And
whatever?
tell them what other exciting things
Are you sure it's not at Turner Field, which doesn't even exist anymore? Are you sure it's not at Yankee Stadium?
I don't know. Hold on.
There's going to be an apple pie eating contest.
Ooh!
And a Shamrock Shake drinking contest, and there are going to be ticket deals.
Wait.
So for opening weekend, there's supposed to be
Who's donating these apple pies and Shamrock Shakes?
somebody's probably buying them.
I wonder if it is McDonald's apple pie.
It was McDamn Donald's.
I'm sure that's what it is.
I mean, I know nobody else has any Shamrock Shakes, but I know McDonald's has apple pies, and I have to make them all the time. And I hope it's not McDonald's apple pie. I mean, it won't be at my store anyway. It won't be in Lenore, but still.
They're also showing a movie on the video board.
What movie?
Didn't say.
It's a surprise!
I'm almost willing to bet it's going to be the Sandlot. I'm saying it now.
It's probably baseball related. If it's not the Sandlot, it might
No,
be
they're
Field
going to
of
play
Dreams.
the Gridiron Gang.
Field of Dreams, A League of Their Own, something like that. Something baseball related.
Miracle on Ice.
Yeah.
Oh, Miracle on Ice. All right. We got our first hockey reference of the podcast. 4 episodes in. Go Hurricanes.
No, the second one had, because we told them that.
Oh, and yeah, so the other night, Scott Darling, you actually did your thing. You came into Chicago, and you actually held it together, and we won in Chicago, and yeah!
And last night, the Charlotte Checkers goalie got a goal.
A goalie goal! Yeah.
Could have been there, but I had to work.
Same.
So let's
Anybody else want to say anything else about hockey before we?
Hockey is the greatest sport
On ice.
besides baseball.
The best sport on ice. Yeah, take that, curling.
So, let's go back to the connection.
Shout out to wait one
No,
second.
I mean, okay.
Shout out to our U.S. women's national hockey team that won the gold in Pyongyang because our men can't do it anymore. Where's Mike Ruzioni when you need him? He's probably like 70 years old now, though, so he probably won't. But yeah, so he might be a coach. What's Mike Ruzioni doing nowadays? Anybody know? All right, whatever.
I don't know who that is.
He was
He hasn't seen the movie.
the most prolific of the 80 hockey team.
There's a movie.
Yeah.
Miracle on Ice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Disney movie.
Yeah. Based on true events.
I
The
like.
Soviet Union had won 4 gold medals in a row at the Olympics, and our ragtag
Look,
group
look.
of Americans.
Last episode was called Trainwreck. Let's not have another one this week.
I like The
You're right,
Goon.
right,
That's
right.
my favorite hockey movie. The Goon.
The Goon.
And our
Mighty
Americans
Ducks.
beat the
Mighty
Soviet
Ducks,
Union
yeah.
in the semifinals, and then we went on to beat Finland. Sorry, Alan?
Anyways. Candy, is there anything that people can help with the connection?
Well,
We already know the answer to this question, but she's got to tell everybody else.
Well, we always try, this past season especially, we started trying to make sure that all the guys have a mattress set when they get into town. It's very hard for these guys to spend 70 nights on the road in hotel rooms and then 70 more nights at home sleeping on an air mattress or on the floor. So we'd like for them to have a mattress apiece. And then a lot of the times the families try to, start them out with little things like towels and sheets and things like that. But as far as the public donation, there are things that, like mattresses and things that we will be collecting at the beginning of the season, which is coming up right away. But other than that, I really don't know of anything else.
How many days out are we from the beginning of the season? From the beginning of the home season, not the games in Greensboro. Because I know I'll be going with y'all on Thursday,
It's Thursday,
Okay,
May
okay.
5th.
and then I know I'll be going with Garrett and Bryson on Saturday.
It's about
32 days until our home opener. So hopefully we'll.
Well, the guys will arrive in town 2 weeks from today. So is that right? 3 weeks from today. 3 weeks from today. So it's coming up. And when they first get here, they'll stay in hotel for a little while until they can get their apartments, a few nights. And thankfully, they start on the road too, so that gives them a little bit more time to get their apartments together. And so, can you talk about what we do with the Crawdads Connection, or like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else? You're the guest. Talk about what you want.
Our only requirements, we've started out with 25 families. We're down to about 20 families. I felt like 25 was a little too many. We do have a couple families that double up, but having that many families, sometimes we had families waiting for a player. So we've cut the number of families down to about 20. But anyway, we have 20 very devoted families who come to a lot of games and are big on support for the players. The only requirements that we have for the Crawdads Connection are once a month we have a potluck dinner. And all the families get together with all the guys at the stadium and just want to feed them a really good meal and make sure they feel welcome in Hickory, and just want to make sure they get a good meal that's not necessarily a restaurant meal because they do eat out a lot. And then we make road bags for them once a month where we every family brings a snack and we just stick them in a big bag and the guys have something to snack on for the month. And that's really the only 2 requirements, but I do kind of like for families to come to at least 1 game per homestand too, because it really stinks for the guys some of the families are there all the time and some are not there very much, some might not be there as much, and it really stinks for the guys to see other families there all the time and their host family not be there. So we really want families that are very active. And we're always looking for more families. I do have a wait list right now, but I always would like to have families just in case one drops out for whatever reason during the season or whatever. But that's it.
I can say it's absolutely a ball doing this. I mean, like I said in the first episode, these guys are going to be professional baseball. I mean, they are professional baseball players, but I'm talking about like major league. And when we went to Kinston for their home opener, and these guys that was here last year saw us. I mean, whether
Oh,
You're
the
in
story
the-
about the Altman chant?
well, yeah,
That's funny. That's a funny story.
whether we are in the connection or not, these guys know us.
They know you. They
You
know
know.
every family. They know every family who's in the Crawdads Connection.
You want
And
to tell the
they
story
recognize
about
And
that?
like, you know,
Altman thing?
Tim off camera, who he's here every game, he cheers with us. They know him, you know. And when we were in Kinston, you know, some of these guys, like I said, were here last year, and they saw us make a 4-hour drive, and they light up like a light bulb. I mean, they are so happy.
Especially
to see
when
us.
we do their chant.
Yes.
Well, we went
My
to
favorite chant of all time. Josh Altman. Na Altman. It's so fun. We had a superhero night, and they actually put him on the scoreboard as Batman, which shows that they actually listen to us every now and then.
We went to Frisco summer before last, and players that had been in Hickory from the very first year of the Crawdads Connection came running up to us and hugging us. And
And what was the first year of it?
this is the 5th season, so
Hold on. Let me
2014.
do some math here.
14, 15, 16.
I'm carrying a C in math right now. so-
2014.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for doing that for me.
Our first season we hosted Hyro, and we got to host him again last year. And we hosted Joe Jackson, and so when we went out to Texas, we got to see Joe Jackson
You
again.
have a lot of shoes? Joe Jackson?
He was wearing his shoes.
He was not shoeless.
He's actually not playing anywhere anymore, so yeah.
He was one of my favorites.
He
Hey,
He's
Joe, come on the show, Joe.
last we heard from him, he's has gone back to the Citadel. He went to the Citadel. Has gone back to finish up his degree. So
South Carolina, right?
yeah,
Not too far from here. Come on the show, Joe.
Charleston. So, but
Home of the River Dogs.
the first player to run up to us at Frisco, that was Ronald. So you know we hadn't seen Ronald in several years before that, but
Oh,
just a lot of fun. To
I
see
just
him.
thought of something. I remember one time the Charleston River Dogs were on a episode of that show Man vs. Food, which reminded me that Alan still hasn't done the Colossal Challenge.
Well, that's
Because they have hot dogs
Yeah,
and
they
he
have
doesn't
hot
like
dogs.
hot dogs.
Yeah, but you like brats, and hot dogs are pretty much, they taste different, but they're about, like, texture-wise and everything, they're about the same thing.
well, it's like I used to like liver mush, and I don't like that anymore. So.
Well, what's-
and that's something
Shame on
Candy
you.
is famous for. She brought liver mush Monday to the stadium.
Hopefully we can continue it this year. We have a whole new food company.
Yeah,
so-
that's right. I talked about a food challenge just so I could set you up for that transition. Didn't even tell you I was doing that.
Okay, well then I'm gonna swing it
We're on the
over to
same page about
Jennifer
that.
because she saw something this week on Facebook.
I told you I wasn't prepared to
What?
talk about that and I don't remember what it was.
It was something that wasn't the
It
River
was
Dogs.
Yeah, it's
Is it-
not
is it
on
on
there.
your-
It's
is it-
not on my
Is that on your list?
Well, I know the River
Is
Dogs,
there a special note?
like their special hot dog is called the River Dog, and it has barbecue on
Clever.
it. It's a hot dog with barbecue on
The
top.
Ooh.
River Dog isn't the barbecue one. The River Dog is
it wasn't-
slaw, barbecue sauce, and a pickled over.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You're not a part of the podcast! No, I'm just kidding.
But he
say
does
whatever.
eat a lot of ballpark
Do
food,
a lot
so.
of ballpark food,
And you want to introduce yourself to get in on the video version?
I'm Kyler Mashburn. I'm first son. I spilled my Shamrock Shake.
He's practicing for Saturday.
But yeah, that's me.
Anybody else? Cooper, you already introduced yourself. Tim, the
I have
enforcer.
something to say.
You want to
Bring your paddle.
get in on here? Nick? Nothing?
I have
Nick,
something
Nick's
to
getting his
say.
head shaved Tuesday for St. Baldrick's Children's
Awesome.
Research.
Yeah, that's
Children's
great, that's
Cancer
great.
Research.
I can't grow my hair long enough to do that, so I don't have the patience.
Jennifer's mad at me.
No, I'm not.
She just
I'm
said
looking
that.
up.
Hold up! Chris, this is the part you're waiting for. Cooper Savage has something to say. Cooper?
Shouts to Cooper Savage. Capital C, capital
Did
S.
you just shout out to yourself?
Yeah.
Somebody's got to.
And it's on YouTube.
Deuces. Bikes.
Bikes! And Dilly Dilly.
Yeah, shout out to Tom Segura.
Do you know that way?
If you're out there, you got a podcast, so do we. You're a stand-up comedian. I have been told that I should try stand-up. I don't think I'm that funny, but
Just funny looking.
just funny looking.
Excuse me, I looked up the hot dog.
All
If
right.
you want to talk about
What do we got?
Yeah, you want to
Charleston-
put the little picture
No,
up towards the video?
Charleston
version?
River Dogs is their 25th anniversary, and they have a silver anniversary hot dog.
It's got silver on it.
It does.
Oh, I didn't think it would.
It comes with a bottle of wine also. I think it's $200. There's some lobster on top of it.
Lobster,
Yeah.
not crawdad.
Oh, that would have been messed up. But that would have been awesome.
That would have been
super funny if they would have
Yeah.
put some crawdads.
Now,
on
have
it.
you guys been to Charleston before?
No, I think we're going to try to go this year.
I'm not even. I know you're meaning that as in the River Dogs, but I've just not even been to the city
Yeah,
of
me
Charleston.
neither.
Well, they share their stadium with the Citadel. The Citadel is literally right next door, and it's called the Joe. And and our Joe Jackson is from Greenville, South Carolina, but he went to the Citadel. So we went to Charleston when he was there, and that was a lot of fun for us because that's his area, you know. And so everybody was glad to see him come back, and that was his first time being back since playing professionally. But really neat stadium. It's right on the Ashley River, and it's just beautiful all around, and very historic district. And
Yeah, as many times as I've been to Myrtle Beach, I've never been to a Pelicans game.
maybe not.
No.
It's a good one.
I think somewhere. I know Kinston's pretty close to the beach, but I think somewhere on the Outer Banks should have a minor league team. I know it's kind of hard to have a stadium down there because with all the hurricanes and stuff, the land it's just shifting all the
Right.
time. The land is going because like there's bridges that are just completely washed away
Right.
every other year, so it'd be hard to have a stadium down there. But
Lakewood's kind of close to the
I think
beach.
if there's an area wide enough, like I know I've spent a lot of time in Nags Head and Kill Devil Hills. I think there's enough land in Kill Devil Hills to have because I know they tried to build a theme park down there one time, but the national whatever made them stop because it would have cut into Jockey's Ridge. But
Yeah, you definitely have to have something that protects the land from weather and things. I mean, protects the ball field from weather and things.
How far is Boozy Creek going to be from?
Boozy?
Buoys.
You mean Bowie's Creek?
Yeah, whatever.
Isn't that where Rhett and Link's from? I think it is. Whatever. Sorry.
How far is it to Buoys Creek? You know? I don't remember.
I don't know. I know Kinston's an hour and a half away from Topsail Island.
Kind of close. Is it close to Wilmington?
Pretty far from Wilmington still.
All right. Well.
A couple hours.
Every time I hear anything about the down east portion of North Carolina, I just assume everything's near Wilmington.
Well, there was a big discussion about that when they named them down east because they were the Kinston Indians, and so whenever they were bought by the Rangers, then they had this big discussion about changing it to down east because they wanted to include that entire section, and people were very offended by it because there's actually a small section of North Carolina that's considered down east. It's just a very small area, and
Yeah, I went to Myrtle Beach several years ago with my family. We stopped at a Hardee's that was somewhere in North Carolina that was like kind of close to Fayetteville or something, and I think it was down east. The most sketchy ghetto place I was ever in.
Kinston is
pretty rough.
It's a rough neighborhood. But
Yeah.
Did you see that they're actually doing a throwback this year? They're
Are
wearing
they-
they're wearing
gonna
the
wear
Indians. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love
And
that.
people
logo.
are going crazy because how can they wear the Indians or be called the Indians for a couple games?
You know,
The
like how
Rangers.
Cleveland's been doing it for all those years, or how we're supposed to be the Crow Moms for a few years. That was
Well-
a few days. That was
Well,
wild.
I think the general consensus was that they wanted them to stay the Kinston Indians, but they weren't able to do that. But I think most people wanted them to stay the Kinston Indians, not to change from that.
And Tim, you might have more to say about this because you know more about hockey than I do. But how come the Blackhawks have never been part of this conversation? They seem to always avoid it, even though they had the most realistic logo of all of the Indian logos.
The hockey crowd does a real good job of staying out of all the
Politics.
politics, you don't hear of hockey players, they're a lot stricter on their players. You don't hear of hockey players getting into any kind of trouble or, they're just a lot stricter.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Jennifer? Alan just pointed to you. I don't know why. Because
We haven't heard her talk that much.
usually you point at her at the end of the episode, and we can't be at the end already.
We've already done 30-some minutes.
36 minutes. We got to go to at least 45 minutes. Yeah, 10 more minutes.
By the time I start talking about my stuff, you're going to interrupt me 10 times. So by the time that's all done, we'll probably be at 45 minutes.
You're going to take it away from Jennifer Day.
So were you going to talk about Timmy Lanscombe?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Tim Lincecum!
Wow.
Yeah, I teased that on the Facebook page the other day. I said I was going to have a full reaction,
And you weren't even going to talk about it.
and I totally forgot. So
You
Tim.
need your notebook.
Okay, all right. Tim Lincecum.
I'm going to interrupt
you don't
you,
like
so
that?
I'm not killing everybody.
For 3 seconds.
We have Tim Lincecum pitching, and it's an even year. If I know anything, that means the Texas Rangers are about to win the World Series.
Very true, but we don't have Baumgartner. I'm sorry.
We could get him.
Next year.
We could get him.
Yep.
That'd be so cool if we had Madison Bumgarner
That
too.
would be awesome.
That'd
But
be
that'll
so-
probably never happen.
Rehab, see it, he gets hurt. Some I don't want him to get hurt, but you know, rehab and come back to.
First, San
Henry.
Francisco's got to trade him. They never do that.
No.
He's a free agent after that.
But Tim Lincecum had a couple of off years, but I think that being with Texas, he'll start doing better because I don't really know too much about Cole Hamels before he was a Texas Ranger, but I think he kind of struggled for a little bit, and then he came to Texas and it kind of revitalized his career. And I don't want to say the same about Yu Darvish, but I do want to say that after he left Texas and went to the Dodgers, and I think he's with the Cubs now,
Yeah.
He
How did
started-
the World Series go?
he started to suck. Y'all remember Game 7? Y'all remember how good Yu Darvish did in Game 7 of the World Series last year?
I got this card sitting behind me that I could just hear the depreciation going down after the World Series.
You
Suck.
You suck.
No, I think he's a good fit for the Rangers.
You know who really sucks? I don't even know if he's with Texas anymore. Freaking Sam Dyson. Goodness, he couldn't close a door.
Kind of like Scott Darling King Blocker.
Yeah, he was Dyson because like a vacuum, he sucks all the time. Whatever. All right. So we're about to hit 40 minutes. Let's go ahead and I don't know. Should we close the show yet? Or is anybody else have any pressing matters they want to get to?
Why are you looking at me? I'm closer.
There's nothing
I'm
good
the
enough.
closer.
We've not talked about anything like super good enough to where it can become the title of the show yet. Like, what are we gonna call this one?
The Hickory Connection.
I was gonna say the family show.
The Family Show with the studio audience.
Live studio audience.
The first ever Dirty Balls live show. And so this next part is going to be super important because I don't know if you got any kind of stage fright. I don't know if you get nervous around huge crowds, but we got one here. So for the very first time live in front of an audience, Jennifer Day, please take it away. Tell us what you got this week.
Okay, well, I feel like this segment has pretty much become about food every week, so we won't break that this week.
Food's great.
Friday, as soon as I got off work, I rushed, because I work in Maiden, rushed to get all the way back to Bethlehem to go to Evans Drugs so I could check out the egg roll truck. That's Egg Roll Inn. You can look that up on Facebook. Huh?
It was in Lenore the other day.
It is. It's in there. It's there a lot. Have you had anything?
I've not tried it yet.
You should go there. They're delicious, and they're 2 for $6.
Oh, nice.
I had the mac and cheese one, and I got a mac and cheese one for Cooper too, and he approved. And that's very rare that he likes anything.
Anything.
So it must be
Anything.
good. And then I got the chicken Philly for Lucas, and he liked it and ate it all.
Chicken Philly. That sounds amazing.
I mean, I don't like vegetables or anything, but it smells like something that somebody that likes a Philly would like.
I love Philly.
And then they had apple pie, so we got one of those too.
Actually, 2.
We actually 3.
Oh.
We just ate 2. I brought one home from you, and you did not eat it, and you
I don't
should be
want to eat
ashamed of
it. I don't want
yourself.
to eat it now because it's like cold.
I just read the other thing on there.
It's
and
super exciting.
I can't wait for you to talk about this.
I don't have anything to talk about. I just wanted to drop some knowledge to everybody. Possums have 13 nipples arranged in a circle of 12 with one in the middle.
Wait.
Now
12,
you know.
12 nipples in a circle?
Yep, one
That
in the
sounds
middle.
weird, doesn't
Is
it?
that for real? Is
I mean, I read it on Facebook.
so it's definitely true.
Right.
Tim was the only one that got what I just said. I said, that sounds
Yeah,
weird.
tipped.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. It wasn't that clever.
Doesn't
but yeah.
it? Okay, whatever, alright.
As long as you amuse yourself.
Possums? What are we talking about?
Possums, yeah.
We're gonna-
13
Or
nipples.
was it an
So next
opossum?
time you see one dead on the side
Are
of
we
the
going to
road,
end the show with possum titties?
Yeah.
Alright. This has been Dirty Balls Podcast Episode 4, the Possum Titty Experience.
oh,
And please join us next week where we might talk about some giraffe titties. I don't know, those are pretty high up. high on our list. So, yeah, Dirty Balls Podcast, please like and share and comment. Your name will go in the hat for our very special prize at the end of the season. Somebody in this room is probably going to end up winning it because that's all that we got listening right now. So, anybody, please. Alan, I'm going to let you end the show. I ended the show every single
Jennifer
time.
takes it away.
Yeah, but Jennifer already took it away. Now we're...
I have verified with Google that possums do have 13 nipples
In a circle?
in a circle, with one in
So-
the middle. Oh, good.
Alan, give me one perfect sentence to close out the show.
I get to go to the stadium next week for the first time in a long time.
All right. Dirty Balls, episode 4. See you next week.
At the
Peace.
Spring Fling.
I didn't get to use my towel.